Hello everyone, my name is JaeAIK and welcome to Fire Emblem Twitter Takes. Twitter Takes, X Takes, Twitter X Takes, I don't really know anymore. I posed the question to you all. In the Fire Emblem franchise, supports are often the backbone of giving us each of the characters' quirks and backstory. What are some of your favorite supports? And to kick off the discussion, I said, one of my favorite supports is from Fire Emblem 7's Matthew X Jafar support line. One is atoning while one is looking for revenge, and I think both finding forgiveness at the end really lets his support stand out for me. So let's see what you all had to say. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it, but I really like the Chrom and Gaia support. It's really good characterization for both of them, and I think they make a really good duo. This support is really interesting because I think this is the only support conversation that Chrom mentions how he kind of wants a bit of freedom, but he can't actually chase that freedom due to his royal lineage. Gaius kind of reprimands him, saying stuff like, "You actually have it super easy, dude," which Chrom generally agrees to, right? Because he's been pampered all his life. But eventually, Gaius, being the nice guy that he is, does take him out for a night out, which then brings them closer together, with Chrom being like, "Dude, I did not expect a guy to juggle ham like that." But I think the funniest thing about this support conversation though is Chrom's fashion sense is implied to not be as great as we think it is, which we know another character of his bloodline also kind of struggles with. I think this tidbit was really interesting upon reread of this support. Crimbo says, out of recent memory, my favorite support comes from Engage with Vale and Madeline. Madeline. It ties really well into the main story and it's very emotionally hooking. So, I've not played the Engage DLC, but I was quite surprised at how good the support was. This support conversation can kind of be summarized as Vale sees Madeline, and it reminds her of Marnie, and she kind of has that survivor's guilt that encompasses a lot of Vale's character. This all kind of culminates at the very end where Madeline asks to be Marnie's replacement, which Vale declines because instead of a knight, she needs a friend. It's a wonderful support conversation, really, and it almost got me to play the DLC, but, you know, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way I'm touching that DLC, dog. So, the greatest thing about making Fire Emblem threads like this is that I didn't know that there were bots that reply to tweets to start shit, and I think that's so fucking funny, dude. So I got a bot to also reply to this tweet. Kaylee Reichert. Dude, this is so awesome. Like, I don't like the fact that there are bots to beef up more three houses like discourse is such a funny concept to me. So I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna see if I can. Okay, let's see if this bot responds. Let's see if this bot responds in the future. LagSpike776, fellow content creator, great Fates content, be sure to check him out. Raven X Lucius is a classic for me. Leo X Azure is also very Leo coded, aka they both annoy the hell out of each other but in a good way, and Sylvain X Mercedes. So I'm a bit more GBA coded in my Fire Emblem choices, so I'm gonna really talk more about the Raven Lucius one out of the three that were mentioned here, because there is so much to talk about in this one, right? So this support conversation kind of feels canon, even though there are technically no real canon support endings, right? And I'm going to try and condense down my 2 points into this. The first point is that Raven is hell-bent on revenge against House Ostia because he believes Ostia was the downfall of his particular family, House Cornwall or something like that. Lucius, on the other hand, acts as kind of the angel on his shoulder, trying to persuade him not to do things like this, despite us, the reader, kind of understanding why Raven would be so hell-bent on revenge. Ultimately, in this support conversation, Raven is persuaded into not doing the whole "let's get this revenge" thing, but the characterization for each of the characters can go a bit deeper thanks to other support conversations they share with other characters. Specifically in Lucius X Renault, where it turns out this guy was the reason Lucius became an orphan. Lucius here has the option to get his revenge as well, but ultimately forgives Renault, meaning Lucius practices what he preaches, and what he says to Raven, he most definitely means it. And I think that's why the support conversation is so good, because we've had the many years to kind of really dig into a lot of these characters, and Lucius is a standout, like morally good character that really dichotomizes well with Raven, who's pointed morally good, but he's just so angry. He's just so angry, bro. Dot says, Sarah/Hector adds so much depth to Sarah's character. I love it so much. It has to be my absolute favorites. So I know you said this does wonders for Sarah's character, and it most definitely does, but we can't discredit Hector's growth from this support either. I know you said this does wonder for Sarah's character, and it most definitely does, but we can't discredit Hector's growth from this support either. For those that aren't familiar with this support conversation, this support reveals to us why Sarah kind of acts as this diva. It's kind of her way with coping with her childhood trauma. This backstory of Sarah really makes you sympathize with the character after all the gags of the rest of the Yostian cast trying their best to kind of avoid her. But for Hector, this support conversation kind of makes him realize he doesn't know shit about his people. So when he basically does a background check on Sarah, he realizes that he kind of has to be the family that she's looking for. And it's just so heartwarming, it's so touching, and like, it's done in such a way where Hector isn't stepping on kind of like this delusions that she has, I guess, but like doing it in like a really nice, like, hey, you know what? Until your real family comes and gets you, we're your family. It's such a good support. So Kin says, Saizo and Baruka, Corin Mail and Soleil, Arthur and Tethys, Selena and Calidori, Laurent and Nor, and Lyndon and Mavier. Whew. Bro chose the most controversial ones. I already talked about the Baruka and Saizo one, so I'm going to be touching on my personal favorite out of the ones listed here, that being from Engage, Lyndon, and Mavier. Because it's quite literally, this support conversation is crazy, because it's quite literally Lyndon being like, yo, Mavier, check this out, bro. And Mavier's like, bro, what are you doing with El Thunder in camp, bro? Like, you can't be doing that. But Lyndon's like, no, check this out, dude. I can make nice snacks by using El Thunder on corn. And Mavier is like, nah, dude, I ain't touching this, bro. I ain't touching this. And so later, Lyndon, he does the I miss my wife, Mavier, right? Because he like drops a picture in front of Mavier. Mavier's like, god damn it, dude. I fell right into his trap. And so in the A support, Lyndon makes popcorn for Mavier, and it's such a good support. It's it's such a good support for like no reason. Lyndon's just like, yo, check this out. Boom, popcorn. Mavier's like, yo, this shit bussin', dude. All right. Not Adam says, Marianne Dimitri. So I never actually got the support conversation in my game, and I kind of regret not getting it after I read it. The support conversation is great. So Dimitri and Marianne, now that, I've read their support, is like honestly such a good pairing because it's really about two people struggling with their survivor's guilt. But despite their shared trauma and guilt, it's a rather uplifting support. They don't actually know the reason as to why they're necessarily alive, but they use this as a reason to uplift one another during the times of war. Rizgod Dimitri even gets Marianne to laugh, and that's insane. Like pre-war Marianne laughing, dude, Rizgod, bro. And those are your favorite Fire Emblem support conversation. But this conversation doesn't have to stop here. If you'd like to put in the comment section what your favorite supports are, feel free to share. I read every single comment. And if you'd like to be featured in any future video, be sure to follow me on Twitter. But anyways, this has been JaeAIK. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye. Take care now. You finishing this video means we go to B support, and if you watch one more, that means we go to A support.